weekend coming up in a few minutes.
Breaking news.
We're also following breaking news in the newsroom. A decision from the appeals court striking down Florida's ban on open carry guns.
And we have more breaking news at 4. Conservative media personality Charlie Kirk in critical condition after being shot during an appearance at a university.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
And we start with that breaking news. Charlie Kirk was speaking to Utah Valley University students from under an outdoor tent when he was shot.
Now, Kirk is considered one of the most prominent President Trump activists and a conservative media personality.
Yeah, so this is file video of a previous event with Kirk you're seeing right there. But there are videos posted to social media that show Kirk sitting down and speaking into a handheld microphone when a shot was fired and a bullet appeared to hit him in the neck. Stunned spectators could be heard gasping and screaming before they started running away. Investigators say Kirk is in critical condition. Utah Valley University says a suspect is in custody. The FBI is monitoring this situation, and we are also going to continue to follow this breaking news throughout the afternoon. To get the latest updates, just head on over to our website, clickorlando.com.
Switching gears now, we do want to take a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope cam, and you can see the gloomy clouds once again out there as we're tracking more downpours.
Yeah, it's the story of the week. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now with what's going on out there. Jonathan.
Yeah, guys, the good news is they are certainly nowhere near as heavy as where they were the last couple of days. These are just itty-bitty guys coming in off of the Atlantic as an area of low pressure spins just off our coast. It's sending back some tropical moisture. We do have some of those downpours sliding back towards Wekiva Springs again on the west side of Altamont Springs. Apopka, we have one of those quick hitting downpours sliding back through as well, right around Ethel, Mount Plymouth. We are dry right now, but these are working from east to west. We'll zoom things back out again. We have some more scattered downpours closer to the UCF campus as well. Bithlo, we have some very light rain. And then towards the 408 and heading back to the east towards the coast, we have some of those downpours pushing through East Orange County. Again, the next several hours of your evening, it's going to be much better than last night, that's for sure. Just doing a little dodging out there tonight with those quick hitting downpours, 30% chance by 7 o'clock. And then as we get deeper into the evening, the rain chances back off and then try to focus on the coast. The one thing I am keeping my eye on, though, is the St. Johns River at Astor with the heavy rain over the past few days. And then that stiff breeze out of the north and east. The river is now expected to jump up to moderate flood stage. We're going to be talking much more about this coming up throughout the course of the next couple of hours, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Flooding concerns are growing in Volusia County, so much so that leaders are now calling for action.
Parts of Port Orange neighborhoods are underwater from days of rain. Families dealing with flooding tell News 6 even a normal storm is starting to feel like a crisis these days. Leaders say a combination of heavy downpours and a king tide left drainage systems overloaded.
Unfortunately, there was not, in this specific situation, there was nothing we could have done pre-storm to prevent this from happening.
Now, the Volusia County Council chairman is calling for a public meeting at the Port Orange Library to address flooding countywide. The council chair says he will invite city, county, and state officials to answer questions and look for some solutions here. So far, no meeting date has been set.
Meantime, in Seminole County, a sandbag site is now open just in case people need them. This is happening at the Geneva Fire Volunteer Station. The station will not be staffed, and you are asked to bring your own shovel. There's also a location at Merrill Park in Altamont Springs, open now until 8 p.m. And you can open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now, click that link. We want to see your weather pictures and videos. They could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way. We want to take a live look now in Gadsden County, where the sheriff is getting ready to hold a press conference right now. Now, we told you at noon he announced 3 arrests in connection to the shooting of FSU freshman football player Ethan Pritchard. The sheriff says 3 young men were taken into custody after warrants were served at the same time this morning. The sheriff's office says investigators are actively searching for a 4th suspect. Pritchard's family says he was shot in a case of mistaken identity as he took a family member home near an apartment complex near Tallahassee, and that was back on August 31st. Now, if you want to watch the full press conference, we are streaming it right now over on clickorlando.com.
And we're following more breaking news this afternoon in a major decision. A state appeals court has ruled Florida's ban on openly carrying guns is unconstitutional. News 6 anchor Matt Austin is live in the newsroom now to explain what this means. Matt.
So today, a 3-judge panel pointed to U.S. Supreme Court rulings on Second Amendment issues. That ruling came in a challenge filed by a man who was convicted of openly carrying a gun on the 4th of July in 2022 in Pensacola. It also came after years of legislative debate about potentially repealing the open carry ban. Today, the governor posted on X saying the decision aligns state policy with his long-held position. He said the court ruled the text of the Second Amendment, to keep and bear arms, says what it means and means what it says. The state CFO also reacted to the court's decision from the Lake Mary Fire Department during an event today.
I believe that there is a constitutional right to carry a firearm the way you want to carry a firearm. Now, just because, and I want to be clear here, just because there will be open carry by virtue of the court's decision does not mean that everyone is going to be open carrying everywhere that they go.
So in today's ruling, the judges said that the state's open carry ban is incompatible with the nation's, quote, historical tradition of firearm regulation. Lisa.
People living in Seminole County will soon be paying more. First, leaders approved a higher gas tax. Now they're looking at a property tax increase. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez shares why leaders say they either have to raise taxes or make cuts.
Tonight, the county will discuss how it will spend the revenue from that tax hike, and that's a conversation that some homeowners tell me they're very interested in getting in on.
In July, Seminole County commissioners made what they call the difficult decision to raise millage rates, saying they either have to raise taxes or cut services.
This government has been incurring the rising costs of everything for the last 4 to 5 years and have not passed that along. Well, those chickens come home to roost, and that chicken is now home.
The county increased the millage rate or property tax rate by 0.5. This adds up to about $144 more each year for homeowners like Leon Oliver.
And it'd be bad for me, because I'm on a fixed income. For me, every dollar counts.
And we just have to pay. Because if you don't, then you lose your home. And we've been there 23 years, so I'm not going nowhere.
One woman who didn't want to be named tells me she will be at today's public hearing because she wants to have a say in how the money is spent.
I don't understand why yet. That's why I want to go to the meeting and find out exactly why. Because they said for emergencies and all that and fire station, but they just built a fire station. So that's what I'm wondering.
The rate will not be set in stone until the county finalizes the budget.
The first of 2 public hearings to discuss the budget is happening tonight. That's at 5:30 at the Commission Chambers. Reporting in Seminole County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Now, Central Florida's largest school district is reassigning more than 100 of its teachers, and this could mean your child may get a new teacher. Superintendent Maria Vasquez made that announcement at last night's budget meeting. The reassignments are all the result of falling enrollment. You'll remember leaders initially projected a decrease of about 3,000 students, but its 10-day count showed nearly double that number, and that means less funding from the state.
This unexpected shift has a direct impact on our school resources. And so every year at this time, our schools go through the recalculation process, which allows us to readjust enrollment based on projections. Those schools that have gained more students than projected receive additional dollars and allocations.
Teachers being reassigned will be notified by the end of the week. Families who maybe see an impact were supposed to begin getting notifications today. Now, as for the budget, Orange County school leaders approved more than $7.5 billion in spending, along with a slightly lower millage rate for taxpayers.
The second phase of an affordable housing project is now open. Seminole County contributed more than $1.5 million towards Sanford Courtyard. News 6's Mark Lehman tells us how it will help workers in need.
A celebration here in Sanford as this housing development is now doubling in size. Organizers saying it addresses an overdue need, and they're committed to more projects like this in the future.
2, 1.
Leaders in Seminole County cutting the ribbon on phase 2 of Sanford Courtyard. The extension of the affordable housing development adds 10 more 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartments to a neighborhood just east of downtown Sanford. Seminole County's Community Services Department contributed $1.6 million towards this project. It was developed in partnership with Central Florida Home for Good, led by Kim Fogel. She's a former Getting Results Award winner who founded the nonprofit in 2019 by using her retirement savings to focus on building affordable housing for local workers in need. Fogel spoke about the impact on the community.
34% of the people that reside here are on that precipice of homelessness. That is the demographic that we serve.
Phase 1 of the development was launched in 2020, and leaders say it's been a success. All of this was funded through Seminole County's Home Funds and the American Rescue Plan Act, which are federal funds received from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Central Florida Home for Good says they're committed to continuing their partnership with Seminole County. Occupants are expected to move in here over the next few weeks, and there are still units available. We posted details about that under this story on clickorlando.com. In Sanford, Mark Lehman, News 6.
A massive development could quadruple the size of a local city known for its small town charm.
Yeah, why leaders approved the project and what has neighbors concerned, that's coming up.
A devastating crypto investment scam that cost the local man nearly $2.5 million. How a friend request on Facebook led to months of trust, pressure, and finally financial ruin. I'm investigator Lewis Bold, and I'll have the story coming up.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
A deep dive into a devastating crypto investment scam that cost a local man nearly $2.5 million. I'm News 6 investigator Louis Bolden with the story of how a friend request on Facebook led to months of trust, pressure, and finally financial ruin.
I was enraged.
That was Richard Dunlap's reaction when he realized he had lost millions.
I probably went through all of the normal feelings that somebody feels when they've been ripped off, frankly.
Dunlap says it started with a friend request on Facebook from someone who seemed to share mutual connections. But they eventually took the conversation to WhatsApp, where they chatted for months and the crooks built a rapport.
After months, this person said, look, I invest and I do really well. You know, you might want to consider it.
They introduced Dunlap to the world of cryptocurrency and trading.
This one is showing the current price of Bitcoin.
They showed him the apps to download and coached him through his first trade.
My initial trades were yielding somewhere in the vicinity of 40%.
Okay.
And I said, that's not terrible.
Dunlap appeared to be making money, so he made a $3,800 withdrawal with no problem.
And I said, well, this must be real.
Dunlap invested more, lots more. From January to March alone, he deposited $1.2 million, including two $200,000 deposits in 2 days. He cleaned out his 401k and savings. In his apps, he appeared to be making money. $153,000 here, $143,000 there. His balance hitting more than $2.5 million. But he soon learned the profits were fake because the crooks controlled the app. When he tried to make a $395,000 withdrawal, he was shut out.
It wasn't until then that I fully realized what I had done to myself. Oh yeah, you lost all that money?
Dunlap is by no means alone. According to the FTC, last year Americans lost $5.7 billion to investment scams, and that's up $1 billion from the year before.
These guys are all just trying to get money from you somehow.
Brian Watson is a forensic financial analyst with the United States Secret Service Orlando Field Office.
I've seen people from all walks of life, from the CEOs, CFOs of big corporations to lawyers to grandmothers, all falling for the same scam.
Watson says be suspicious of unsolicited investment advice and of promises of big returns. Also requirements to use a specific trading platform because scammers will use a platform that they can control. Dunlap is sharing his story hoping he can help others.
So that I can maybe prevent some of them from going through the same thing.
Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@WKMG.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
All right, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Time now for a look at our forecast. All week, Jonathan Kagas has been telling us that we can get ready for these downpours, nailing it. Now you have us salivating for Sunday when some drier, cooler air will be moving in.
We needed to get there. Yeah, the forecast looks great for the weekend, especially the second half of the weekend. Just a few more days of doing a little dodge, and tomorrow not that bad, I don't think, in terms of the rainfall. But right now we are watching that steady stream, mainly from along into the southeast of I-4. I do think we're going to keep things pretty dry along I-75 in Marion County, most of Sumter County as well. But you see that persistent onshore flow going to keep downpours working their way back onto the Florida Peninsula. If you want to track those showers and downpours that are out there right now, download the free News 6 weather app. Of course, our forecast is on there as well. This tells the story. Live look in Daytona Beach. Again, the gray skies staying with us for the most part. You can see the downpour in the background. 78 degrees right now. The breeze out of the north at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Here's the rest of the evening for you. Again, if you're heading out, especially along into the south and east of I-4, closer to the coast, keep the umbrella with you. I don't think you're going to need it the whole night. It's certainly not going to be like last night where we just had round after heavy rain. That's 7 to 8 o'clock on your Wednesday evening. Later on tonight, a few more downpours just hanging on towards the Brevard coast. Everything kind of pushes back down to the south. And I think that's where we're going to see the best opportunity for rain tomorrow. There's 6 o'clock on your Thursday morning, still watching the coast for a few stray downpours to sneak on shore. And then I think we're much drier tomorrow as some drier air already starts to push back in. Rain chances go up a smidge on Friday before going back down again on Saturday. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
So we're shaving rain chances in half. 30% shot for a few thunderstorms, especially along in southeast of I-4. We're at 87 in Leesburg, 88 in Denellen. Good evening in New Smyrna Beach. We are checking in tomorrow at 85. Still going to keep things a little unsettled through about tomorrow, and then that's when we really have that transition back into drier days. Could be the nicest weekend we've had in months since the spring. Drier air then pushes in for the weekend, and it's on Sunday. That's when we are going to have the shot to wake up into the 60s. We're looking at the dry air. This is in the mid-levels of our atmosphere. This is Friday morning. We're on the cusp of it, and during the day on Friday and really for the first half of Saturday, that's whenever we get rid of this tropical, soupy air mass and then bring in some of the driest air we have seen in quite some time, and this is what we have coming for you. I do think we are still going to have a couple of downpours around, maybe a rogue rumble of thunder on Saturday closer to the coast as we have that front still hanging around and the breeze out of the north and east. But during the day on Saturday, it's starting to become less humid. We have not said the words less humid in quite some time. 87 degrees on Sunday, rain chances at 20%, just a stray shower right along the coast. Earlier this afternoon, Hurricane Center did highlight a new wave that's emerging off of Africa. Today, of course, the peak of hurricane season. We're going to talk much more about that coming up at about 4:47. 40% shot for downpours on Friday, 30% chance that I showed you on Saturday. Then looking good through the early stages of next work week as we keep things into the upper 80s, guys, Monday and Tuesday.
Jonathan, thank you. Leaders say builders with a controversial development can get to work in a small city.
And some are not happy about it.
I mean, you know, it's the traffic's going to be wicked. It's going to be really, really bad.
Why leaders say emergency services will be able to keep up with the expected population boom. That's next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
A massive development project in Flagler County that could nearly quadruple the size of Bunnell is moving forward.
Yeah, we told you about this on News 6 at 4 just a few weeks ago. Now, the Bunnell City Commission has approved the Haw Creek Reserve Development. It's a 2,800-acre project that would bring more than 6,100 new homes to the area. The plan was previously rejected in June. Now it includes affordable housing, green space, and developer-funded upgrades for city infrastructure.
Getting out of here now can be a problem sometimes, but when you figure they add how many thousand homes they're going to add, it's going to be a whole heck a lot worse.
About time they finish doing all their engineering and their environmental, it probably will be 3 to 4 years before they start building.
Now, there will be a 20-year phase build-out. Leaders say the city will have time to catch up on emergency services. The development phase or development passed final approval with the city commission voting 3-2. Changes could be coming along the coast when it comes to where people can fish.
Flagler Beach is considering banning beach fishing. I'm Molly Reed. Coming up, we'll tell you why the city says this would be safer for swimmers, but why local anglers say it would be bad for the sport and business.
Tragically, the shooting of a 2-year-old, Blesson Leitner, wasn't the first young life lost to gun violence in this Melbourne neighborhood. I talked to this mother of another unsolved case I've covered who's been waiting for answers for years. Coming up.
Welcome back. We're following breaking news right now.
Conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was speaking to Utah Valley University students from under an outdoor tent when he was shot earlier today. This is file video of a previous event with Kirk, but there are videos posted online showing Kirk speaking into a handheld microphone when a shot rang out and hit him. Investigators say he is in critical condition right now at the hospital. The FBI is monitoring the situation. In a major decision, a state appeals court has ruled that Florida's ban on openly carrying guns is unconstitutional. Today, a 3-judge panel pointed to U.S. Supreme Court rulings on Second Amendment issues. The judges said the state's open carry ban is incompatible with the nation's, quote, historical tradition of firearm regulation. People living in Seminole County will soon be paying more in taxes. First, leaders approved a higher gas tax. Now they're looking at a property tax increase. Tonight, the county will discuss how it will spend that revenue. The rate will not be set in stone until the county finalizes the budget.
Taking a live look now, this is at I-4 in Sanford, and you can see dark clouds looming in the background there. We're tracking downpours on the radar as well.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joins us now with what we need to know. Jonathan, we could use a break from all this.
We could, and I think one is coming in the next couple of days. I think as early as tomorrow, we start to dry things out on a large scale across Central Florida. Still some pretty healthy downpours moving in off the Atlantic around Edgewater. Again, we can shut off the spigot across Volusia County, especially as we continue to watch those downpours take aim. These ones are headed for Oak Hill into Scottsmore, Mims, Titusville. Good evening. We're going to be getting in on some of those downpours that are spiraling around a weak area of low pressure out over the Atlantic. Back towards the I-4 corridor, Apopka, we are starting to see those downpours slide through as well toward Lake Apopka. Ocoee, we just had a healthy downpour. That's pushing through Winter Garden, eventually getting into Oakland in the next few minutes. We'll zoom things back out. Azalea Park, we had that flash flood warning last night. This one not even close to the intensity and widespread scale. We're not expecting that tonight, but certainly where we've had the heavy rain over the past couple of days, that's where we're going to be watching for any kind of aggravation to some flooding. Cool shot here with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam as we do have some of those downpours bubbling up. Temperatures right now into the middle 80s. The breeze out of the north and east, that's helping to bring in a little bit of drier air. We have a nice chunk of it moving in for the weekend. We're going to break down a very nice weekend forecast, guys, coming up at about 4:47.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Friday marks 2 weeks since the death of a toddler, and police still have not said who shot the little girl.
And she wasn't the first young life lost to gun violence in this Melbourne neighborhood. Your Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero tells us about another tragic case that he's covered that also remains unsolved.
On Poplar Lane, where on August 29th, police say a 2-year-old was killed and her grandparents injured, there's an addition to the memorial in front of the house. Blesson Leitner's name is now etched alongside candles and teddy bears. And knowing that another young life was lost in this same neighborhood, I thought who better to talk to than Patricia Hester. Patricia is the mother of Kobe. He was 16 when Melbourne police say he was shot on Cedar Drive, just a block away, Patricia. All this time later, it's been 2 years. Police still have not publicly identified a suspect in your son's case.
No, they have not. I don't feel like Melbourne police digs enough in these children cases. I mean, this child was only 2, I believe. Another innocent child, life is gone.
As Blesson's family now awaits answers, do you have any words of encouragement or perhaps resilience to share with them?
I do. I'm just hoping that whomever did it, someone will come forward with this family, because I can understand the pain that this family is going through. Only you know the feeling of how it feels to lose a child, and you live with it. But then you also can get through it too.
In 2023, police didn't do interviews about the shooting of Patricia's child, but in a press conference last week about Blesson, Commander Sean Eisen talked about how officers are affected emotionally by these cases too.
Our police officers, our investigators, their parents, they identify these situations with their own family.
If anyone has information about either investigation, we have the right number to reach police on clickorlando.com. In Melbourne, Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Winter Springs leaders have approved a controversial fee hike for Tuscaloosa, but it is lower than the original proposal. Commissioners passed it late last night after hours of debate. The initial plan to double the assessment cap to $255 was reduced to $220. The actual fee will increase from $128 to $160. The maximum annual oak forest assessment increases from $63 to just over $84, while the 2025 tax rate stays at $60. The fees will fund things like streetlights, landscaping, and repairs to the subdivision's signature fountains that were struck by lightning.
So remember the video showing an Orlando officer pepper spraying a man who was recording them as they were making an arrest?
We are cooperating. We are.
So when we spoke to him a week ago, he insisted he did nothing wrong. Now he's facing charges. Your Orlando community correspondent Troy Campbell looks into what police claim the man did, and he's asking a legal expert, where do your rights end when police are taking action?
We are cooperating. We are.
We spoke to him moments after he left the hospital last Monday. Obviously, it's still affecting you.
Yeah, it's been rough. You know, it's been a rough morning for me, my family, everybody that know me that was there, just to see it happen.
According to Lake's arrest warrant, officers asked him several times to back up while he recorded them detaining someone else.
The HALO law speaks to that. We now have a law that says stand back. You can still record somebody within 25 feet. So it doesn't take away the public's right to still be able to record, but stay out of law enforcement and first responders' way. They've got a job to do.
The arrest warrant includes still images from the officer's body camera, showing Lake holding his phone recording. Orlando police say after Lake was pepper sprayed, officers attempted to arrest him, but he took off running, got into a car, and left the area.
All right, your name, please?
James Clyde Lake III.
Lake went before a judge on Tuesday, facing several charges, including fleeing and eluding officers.
I've seen phenomenal law enforcement take a situation and let everybody go in peace. And you see other situations where somebody starts beating on their chest, they overreact to a situation.
And we're still waiting to get a copy of the full body camera footage from that incident from Orlando police. And of course, we will keep you updated if we get that. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Flagler Beach is looking to put some big restrictions on where people are allowed to fish. The city says right now there are dangers to fishing on the beach, mixing with people trying to swim or surf. But those fishing groups are fighting back. Your Flagler County community correspondent Molly Reed explains.
Not the best day for the beach, and especially fishing out here with this weather, but typically on a sunny day you'd see fishing poles lined up along Flagler Beach here, especially since the fishing pier has been closed for several years due to hurricane damage.
Most anglers want to be on the beach early, catch their fish, go home. They don't want to deal with the swimmers.
Local anglers have started a petition already against Flagler Beach's proposed surf fishing ordinance. The ordinance is looking to ban fishing on the beach. Many of these fishermen would rather see time restrictions or further guidance.
Not all
ban here on beach fishing, but rather would create restricted zones. Where those zones would be is still up for debate by the City Commission. According to the proposed ordinance, anyone who breaks the rules would be given a citation.
It's just a level of being considerate and friendly.
Some local families who frequent the beach see the desire in wanting the water to be safe, but think there should be more of a compromise.
I'm not going to fish on top of someone's family, but you should definitely be able to fish the beach.
Now, the proposed safe zones will be presented to the City Commission, I'm told, later this month. I'm told the earliest would be the September 25th meeting. I'm your Flagler County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Special moments this morning to recognize some of Central Florida's nonprofits serving the community.
Yeah, 10 nonprofits were celebrated by the Addition Financial Foundation for the difference they're making in Central Florida. The event was this morning on the UCF campus. Each organization was nominated and either given $15,000 or $20,000 to continue their great work. I had the privilege of hosting the celebration, which was attended by UCF head football coach Scott Frost and, of course, Nitro. Some of the organizations honored include include Embrace Health, the Sharing Center, and Grow Healthy Kids. They all do such great work in the community, and we couldn't do it without them.
Very cool. Well, this week, the I-4 Food Tour is taking us to a hidden garden in Winter Park.
Coming up, anchor Matt Austin is sharing his reaction to the steak frites he tried at Garp and Fuss.
See how fast I swallowed that? Did you see that? That's called tender. Today we're in a little hidden garden in Winter Park, and we're exploring a creative, carnivorous menu at a place called Garp and Fuss. Let's check it out. But first, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Giant Recreation World. Thanks for the RVs we use to highlight Central Florida's food scene. We are here at Garp and Fuss. I'm with the owner, Vincent. Thank you so much for letting us try this food today. I'm excited. What's your favorite thing on the menu? When you get a little downtime and you get something to eat, what do you eat?
The steak frites. It's just a different spin on the traditional steak frites.
So you're a meat man.
For sure.
I happen to be a meat man as well. We're gonna get along just fine. All right, fantastic. This is the steak frites at Garp and Fuss. It's 10 ounces of hanger steak with a peppercorn demi-glaze on top and some truffle French fries, baby. It's hitting on all cylinders for me right now, the looks, and they even deliver the knife. You pull it out like the sword in the stone. Let's do this thing, all right? A little pink in the middle. Oh man. So much flavor. You can taste that char all up in there. And the demi-glaze on top, that's a peppercorn demi-glaze. Adds just the right amount of flavor to that. All right, and then we have some truffle fries. Can you actually taste the truffle? Oh yeah, there's actual truffle on there. That is good. I love when I can taste that grilled flavor. Sometimes they give you just a little line of the peppercorn dressing. They coat this thing. It's good. I'm not saving any of this for my camera people today. Garp and Fuss, this is in the Hidden Garden in Winter Park. It's not easy to find, but it's pretty hard to leave.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
All right, turning now to our forecast, meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. And Jonathan, this week has really messed with all the dog walking.
Yeah.
And because I have to check your forecast and check the radar.
All the practices, the after-school events.
Yes,
it's a mess.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of been super inconvenient, for sure. We need the rain to shut off, especially for some flooding concerns, especially in Volusia County. We have taken it on the chin over the past couple of days here with the heavy rain. Still a little gusty out there. Live look in Daytona Beach right now with our Daytona Beach Skycan. If you want to stay up to date and track those downpours as they come, download that free News 6 weather app right there on your screen. We're back to the upper 70s, the breeze out of the north at about 11 miles an hour. We don't have anything even remotely close to what we saw yesterday afternoon at this time and through the evening. That was to be expected. Just a couple of downpours, mainly hanging around I-4 and then points to the east. All of these are kind of pinwheeling in off of the Atlantic. So these are going to be a little more quick hitting tonight and certainly not as widespread and definitely not as heavy. 30% shot for downpours through 7 o'clock tonight. By 9, we're transitioning to just a few downpours right along the coast again later on this evening. But by and large, again, nothing even remotely close to last night. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Storm chances go down tomorrow to 30%. We're back to the upper 80s. There may be a rogue rumble of thunder in the mix, but by and large should be like what we're seeing out there today, except even further to the south and east of I-4. Earlier this afternoon on the season's peak, the Hurricane Center did highlight a new wave. It's this thing that's getting ready to roll off of Africa now. Remember what happened with the last one. We talked about the conditions aren't super favorable, so just be careful of all the model runs that are out there again. 0% shot for development over the next 2 days, 20% over the next 7. Some slow development is possible as we work our way into the weekend. Again, today, September 10th, is the peak of hurricane season. Running behind schedule, obviously that's a good thing. And it's been weird, too. Out of the 6 storms, 5 of them have been on the lower end tropical storms, and then just one Category 5 Hurricane Erin, of course. Thankfully, that one obviously did not hit anything. Again, here we stand at the top of the mountain. I normally don't like using September 10th as the peak. When you take all the numbers and all the storms out there, it comes out to be September 10th, but it would imply that the season starts to drop off dramatically. However, Floridians know all too well that the end of September and into October has not been kind to the Sunshine State. Now, here's where we stand in relation to the preseason forecast. 13 to 19 named storms. We're at 6. So, again, hopefully we're not going to catch up like we did last year. The average in terms of the season is 14, 7 of those becoming hurricanes, 3 becoming major. We stand at 6, 1, and 1 at the current juncture. And, again, nothing is imminent on the horizon. So last year we had 11 named storms from the end of September on. Let's not get a repeat performance of that. 30% shot for storms tomorrow, 40% chance on Friday. Look at this weekend, guys. We've been highlighting some drier air coming in. Might be, dare I say, the best and possibly, likely, the most comfortable weekend we have felt since way back in May.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Some breaking news right now. CBS News has just reported conservative media personality Charlie Kirk has died. He was shot today at a university in Utah while speaking to a large crowd. We're gathering more details, and we'll have an update coming up on News 6 at 5 o'clock. Well, when a woman heard a girl scream from a lake, she says she had no choice but to act, even though she doesn't even know how to swim.
When I looked over, I saw her in the water. So I just ran.
How she was able to rescue the 11-year-old from the water, that's next.
Coming up in the morning, tackling traffic on a busy stretch of a local road.
Yeah, why leaders are worried about future growth in one part of Winter Park and what they have in mind to try and keep drivers moving.
Plus, as always, your weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
A woman rushed to rescue an 11-year-old from a lake, even though that woman doesn't know how to swim.
She says she was just at the right place at the right time. Muhammad Abdul Kawi has the story from Fort Myers.
I felt like an alligator was going to come swim to me and drag me under the water.
11-year-old Mia Garcia describes the moment she slipped into the water at Lakes Park. It happened Saturday morning just after 10. She was collecting shells with her little sister.
We taught her at a young age to scream, and she started screaming for us that she needed help, that she couldn't get out.
Mia lives with autism. Her grandmother Dawn tells me Mia knows how to swim, but
she couldn't get out because it was so slimy.
That's when another person heard that scream and jumped into action.
When I looked over, I saw her in the water, so I just ran.
Bridget Addison was at the pavilion nearby. She says she doesn't know how to swim, but that didn't matter Saturday.
I was able to get her and sling her up so she won't be where the slimy part at to get her out the embankment. But I kept falling down, the grandma kept falling down, and that's how I got skint all up.
But she says that's okay, knowing that he helped this little girl live to see another day.
I don't care who they are, what color, what their disability, I don't care. If you can do it, go and help somebody. That's my only thing.
As for Mia's family,
it shows a lot that there are good people out there, and she is one of them.
I love her.
risking her own life, didn't know how to swim, but she was
Just
going
know
to do
somebody
whatever
needed
it
help.
takes.
Yeah, God bless her. News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead. Matt.
We are continuing to keep an eye on rain across central Florida tonight. That's causing flooding concerns in some communities. Plus, after months of studies and trial runs, a new transit system is about to be rolled out in Seminole County. We're seeing how it will work alongside someone who's planning to use it. And we've now learned, unfortunately, conservative activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot at an event in Utah earlier this afternoon. We're going to bring you the latest on that after the break. And your forecast is only minutes away. We'll be right back.
This is a mic check. I am on my work phone.
Mic check, but we start tonight with an equation. More rain plus soggy conditions.
Now at 5, the state says Orange County is dragging its feet over the recent DOGE review, the law they want to change to force others to comply. And later, the Christmas controversy already playing out in one city. You're watching News 6 at 5.
But we start tonight with an equation. More rain plus already soggy conditions. And what do you get? In some cases, flooding.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joins us now. And Jonathan, some parts of Central Florida have already seen triple the amount of rain that they would normally see in the start of September.
Yeah, it's been a very wet start to the month. In Orlando, it picked up just about 6¼ inches in the rain gauge at the Orlando International Airport. Normally, through 10 days, we see 2.02 inches. So you see there, we're about 4¼ inches above normal in Orlando, almost 5 inches above normal in Daytona Beach. Not as extreme in Sanford and Melbourne, but we are certainly above normal in that department. Leesburg, we're the only ones that still, even in this wet pattern, are below normal by about 1.5 inches. So it's all on location, of course, but most of us have been on the wetter side over the past several days, going back to late last week. Radar picture shows at least some positivity anyway. There were downpours as expected, not as heavy and widespread as the storms we had yesterday. That'll be the case again tomorrow. We're going to pinpoint that forecast and talk about a much better weekend at about 5:17.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, Seminole County opened 2 sandbag locations today for anyone who wants a little extra protection for their homes. You can head to the Old Geneva Volunteer Fire Station on 2nd Street in Geneva or Merrill Park in Altamont Springs anytime until 8 to grab some free sandbags.
Meantime, solutions may soon be on the way for people living in Port Orange, which, as your community correspondent Molly Reed has showed us over the last few days, it has seen a lot of flooding from all of the rain that we have received, and it's gotten the attention of the Volusia County Chair, Jeff Brower. He posted on social media yesterday that he is scheduling a public meeting with St. Johns River Water Management District and FDOT and county and city staff to answer questions from the public and figure out where to go from here. The meeting has not officially been scheduled, but the county chair says it will be at the Port Orange Library soon, and the date and time will soon be announced. Developing right now at 5, President Trump posting to his social media platform just moments ago saying prominent conservative activist and social media personality Charlie Kirk has died after being shot earlier today. Kirk, a close ally of President Trump, was shot while he was speaking to students from a tent at Utah Valley University. Video posted on social media from the school shows the 31-year-old speaking into a handheld microphone when a shot rang out. People in the video can be seen gasping and then running for cover. While speaking in Miami earlier today, Governor Ron DeSantis took a moment to speak about Kirk.
And what happened today, was not just an attack on Charlie personally, but really an attack on the idea that we resolve these things through reasoned debate and elections. And so Casey and I are praying for him. I'm in his family, and this is not what we want for our country going forward.
The FBI continues to monitor the situation. Utah Valley University initially said a suspect was in custody, but law enforcement is now saying there is still a suspect out there. But again, President Trump posting to his social media platform, Truth Social, that Charlie Kirk has died. And we're going to be tracking the latest developments. To keep up to date, you can always head to our website, clickorlando.com.
More developing news, this time in Orange County. The Department of Justice has opened an investigation into Orange County zoning and land practices.
Now, this all has to do with alleged discrimination against the Orlando Torah Center. News 6's Laverne McGee is live in southwest Orange County, where that is located. And Laverne, what can you tell us about this situation?
Well, there is quite a controversy here. If you take a look behind me, that is the Orlando Torah Center. Now, you can see that it is located inside a single-family home. And if you take a look down the street, you can see no commercial buildings, really just single-story family homes. Now, at the end of this street, however, is Southwest Middle School. So there is some commercial zoning here. But neighbors are saying traffic, noise, other issues concern them, and they would not appreciate having this expanded. Here's what they're saying.
Let's say I'm concerned because it has been told to them that it's not discrimination. It is, in fact, this is a residential area, and that is not approved for this area.
This is one of the residents that I spoke with who does not want the Orlando Torah Center to expand. She did not want her face on camera, like some of her other neighbors who told me they fear being labeled as anti-Semitic. They say they simply want this to remain a residential neighborhood. The Orlando Torah Center is currently in a single-story house that, according to the county website, has had code violations in the past. But this letter from the Civil Rights Division of the United States Attorney's Office says, in part, our investigation will focus on Orange County zoning laws and practices regarding religious land uses, including its denial of the Orlando Torah Center's application for a special permit and whether that denial has discriminated on the basis of religion. This comes after the Orlando Torah Center filed a federal lawsuit against the Orange County Board of Commissioners on July 31st. The house they use as a synagogue is located in the Sandhills neighborhood on Apopka Vineland Road in the Dr. Phillips area. It's a 1,600-square-foot building that they want turned into a 3-story worship and programming space. But Orange County denied the request following some neighbor opposition that was voiced at an Orange County Commission meeting and checking into zoning laws for this neighborhood. But Attorney General James Uthmeier also had sent a letter on August 8th expressing concerns. Orange County's attorney replied to him on August 15th, saying in part, the July 1st, 2025 decision was based on fair and neutral criteria. It was no way based on anti-Semitism. Supporters of the center say a lot of the congregation members walked to the center, making it a necessity for the Orthodox Jewish community. Many cannot drive on the Sabbath.
Well, they're already worshiping. They wanted to build a very large complex there. And the general people within the HOA that's right here for their Section 1 did not feel that that was appropriate. And they voted that way.
So once again, I want to point out that on this end of the street, you can see primarily residential here. On the other end, there is Southwest Middle School and another nursery school, it looks like, across the street. On this end, much smaller lots, which is one of the concerns of the residents. I got off the phone not too long ago with their attorney, who says that they are in the right, that they have special permitting and they should get the zoning permit. And I got a letter from Orange County saying that they can't comment really because this is pending litigation. But once again, they are saying that this is not discrimination and that they have in fact followed the law for the zoning here. Reporting live in Southwest Orange County, Laverne McGee, News 6.
We're in the process of doing that, but the process has been slowed because of the games that the Orange County Mayor's Office and their General Counsel has slowed us.
For the first time since more than a dozen Orange County employees were subpoenaed by the state's chief financial officer was in Central Florida.
So we wanted to get an update from the CFO on how the subpoena process was going, and you heard his response. He says Orange County is playing games. News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden joins us live in the newsroom to explain what's happening here. Ginger?
Matt and Lisa, according to the copy of the subpoena we received, which was sent to the Orange County attorney, the state needed a response by 9 Monday morning. But today, Chief Financial Officer Blazing Golia said that they just finished delivering those subpoenas today, Wednesday. The state subpoenaed 16 county employees, including the county attorney, 2 weeks ago over issues they believe surrounded the DOJ audits in August. The CFO claims the state handed those 16 subpoenas to the county attorney to hand out to everyone else, but he says the county attorney refused. The CFO then said it became his office's responsibility to track down everyone they were trying to subpoena.
Us running around for a couple weeks trying to issue subpoenas shouldn't happen. It's a waste of time, resources, and money. But from what I've seen, Orange County does waste a lot of resources and money as it is. We're just adding on.
And moments ago, we received a statement from Orange County. It says, in part, the county attorney informed the agents of the state that he is not authorized to accept subpoenas on behalf of county employees or any of the other individuals who were listed. It goes on to say the county attorney then assisted the agents in determining where the county employees who were listed could be located. The CFO says he wants to now change the law to force government employees to accept subpoenas on behalf of other government employees. Matt?
Ginger Gadsden, thank you. Well, 4 people are facing charges in the shooting of a Florida State University football player from Central Florida. The Gadsden County Sheriff's Office says 3 young men were arrested and a teen turned himself in this afternoon. Deputies served multiple warrants at the same time early this morning, and officials believe this group shot FSU linebacker and Seminole High School alum Ethan Pritchard in the back of the head earlier this month in a case of mistaken identity while he was taking a family member home. Investigators say a 3-year-old was also in the car. The Gadsden County Sheriff just wrapped up a press conference providing some more details just under an hour ago.
Ethan, according to our investigation, I know people here, when somebody gets shot, near an apartment complex, he was doing something wrong. Ethan was not, I say not, doing anything wrong in that area.
Keith Wilmer with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement says all 4 suspects are being charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of shooting into an occupied vehicle.
This week, you may spot one of these on the road in Seminole County. We've been telling you all about the new on-demand transportation service called Scout that is starting up this fall. As the county starts to test it out this month, we're getting your questions answered. Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver met with one News 6 viewer who reached out ahead of the official October launch.
It's a Wednesday afternoon. Sheila Rashi is at home in Altamont Springs, close to a hospital, close to a mall, close to the grocery store.
5 to 10 minutes from everything. It's wonderful.
There's just one problem.
How do you get there? You have to walk there, and to walk a mile or 2 miles for a senior citizen or even anybody who can't take the heat, it's just not feasible.
With Seminole County's new on-demand transportation service, Scout can come directly to Rashi's door.
You reached out to me because you said, as soon as I can use this service, I want to.
Absolutely, as of yesterday. That's how soon I would like.
She didn't just see our News 6 story. She saw how it could fit into her life.
I need it desperately because I was fortunate enough to get vertigo. I can't drive because it's too dangerous. And we're only a one-car family now because since my husband can't drive anymore.
A Scout ride could take her to Westmont Park, where she and her husband do water aerobics with a $4 fare. If she wants to go further, it could cost up to $14, depending on how many zones she crosses.
As we have our riders that are going to be doing the practice runs, it's going to tell us a lot.
We spoke with Chairman Jay Zembauer about how Seminole County is rethinking transportation, throwing out most traditional bus routes and betting on vehicles who can get to commuters where and when they're needed most.
Our goal is, after we kick it off, is to continue to improve it. Maybe add some more vehicles, add some distances to it. So be patient and we'll get there.
We helped Rashi download the Freebie app.
You'll be ready to go October 15th.
Where she'll request a ride. By the end of this year, it's how the county expects most people who take the bus now to get around too.
You think this is really going to make a difference in your life?
Oh, absolutely.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Well, it's still hot and muggy out there. If you're already looking forward to the most wonderful time of the year, you're not alone. Next at 5, the concerns in one community about how a holiday celebration is being changed.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
All right, we're doing it. Christmas Day, just over 100 days away. But of course, the holiday festivities start well before that. A petition called Save Christmas is raising concerns the city of Winter Park is removing Christmas from its traditions.
Orange County community correspondent Jana Manahalal spoke with city leaders who say this is not the case.
The petition titled Save Christmas in Winter Park, written by a Winter Park resident, suggests that the city is trying to phase out Christmas, but officials say that this is a different reality.
So, to be very clear to start, Winter Park is not taking Christmas out of the holidays. In fact, what Winter Park is doing is adding to Christmas other holidays during the season, such as Hanukkah and Kwanzaa.
Howard says the city's only request was directed at the Park Avenue district, the merchant group that took over the lead in decorating downtown last year. But when the group rebranded the season as Christmas on Park, some residents raised concerns.
This year, when the city issued a release about the holiday season starting, then we did receive concerns from residents saying, wait a second, I think there's a little bit more than Christmas on Park.
Before Park Avenue District took over the rebranding of the decor, had your residents ever complained about anything like this?
No. I mean, we've, like I said, I've been here for 20 plus years. This is the first time that there's been some controversy about this. And I think it really is misunderstood and misguided because it is not Winter Park taking Christmas out of the holidays.
Howard says that all long-standing traditions will continue and the city will work to make sure all residents feel included. I did reach out to the Park Avenue District to see if they had any comment on this, but we have not heard back. In Winter Park, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
Certainly doesn't feel like Christmas.
I was going to say, it's hard to think about Christmas when it's so hot and humid and muggy outside right now.
Yeah, we might have a taste of maybe like a Florida fall this weekend, guys. Just a little taste, nothing too crazy. But I do think we are going to turn things certainly drier and a little more comfortable. We're going to get out of this pattern we've gotten ourselves into, along into the south and east of I-4. That's where we're tracking downpours tonight. Nothing as widespread or as heavy as what we saw last night, expected for the remainder of the evening, but still in and out of some heavier downpours closer to Poinciana tonight, Kissimmee on the west side of town, and then working their way back in closer to Oak Hill and Scottsmore, Mims. You can track these downpours alongside me tonight by downloading that free News 6 weather app. Likely no lightning tonight, but if lightning ever does pop up over the next couple of days, you get that push alert that it is within 10 miles of you, then you can take cover. Rest of the evening, there's 5 to 6 o'clock. I think Future Radar doing a nice job tonight showing these stream of downpours that are working along in southeast of I-4, and then another flare up of a few thunderstorms, maybe overnight. That's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you see a couple of darker reds and purples popping back up closer to the Space Coast. So that's where I'll be watching for tomorrow morning, again, for the opportunity for some rain on the radar. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos will likely be watching those heavier downpours tomorrow morning. There's 1 to 2 o'clock for you into the afternoon, and then that's what I have for you tomorrow. Then some drier air sneaks in here ahead of the weekend and really gobbles up rain chances for most of Central Florida. So I am expecting a much drier day again tomorrow. A little breezy right now on the Space Coast. It's a live look, Port Canaveral, Brevard County, with our Launch Credit Union camera this evening. Temperatures back to the middle 80s, reporting some showers at the airport. The breeze again at about 13 miles an hour out there. That's one thing we've had over the past couple of days also in the breeze, especially last night. We were tracking those downpours coming into Palm Coast and into Volusia County, Flagler County as well. We had gusts over 40 miles an hour last night. Right now, we're at 86 in Claremont. Good evening in Wildwood. We're at 85, 83 degrees in the Villages. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Temperatures tomorrow back to the upper 80s. Rain chances at 30%. I don't think we're going to have that much lightning around tomorrow. They're going to be more of the downpour variety like what we're seeing out there now. And as I showed you Future Radar, I think they're going to be far, far south of Orlando, likely hanging around Osceola, Brevard County as well. Tomorrow afternoon in Kissimmee, good evening, we're back to 87. Palm Bay and in Melbourne, we're back to 87 as well. Daytona Beach, we are at 85. Bunnell into Palm Coast, we're hanging in the mid-80s. In the Villages in Wildwood tomorrow, closer to the 75 corridor, we're looking pretty good heading to around a Gulf tomorrow. We're back to the mid-70s by 9 o'clock. I think we're dry early in the morning. We're at 86 by 1. And again, our rain chances, especially the further west of Orlando you are going to be very, very low. Then the drier air comes in. Here's our fronts. They'll stall it out across South Florida. We get that little nudge, though, as we get into Friday and especially during the day on Saturday. That's what it looks like on Sunday. You see the blue arrows there. That's our wind direction out of the north. That would be what we need to bring us some of that drier air. And it looks like, again, Sunday could be the first opportunity to wake up in the 60s that we have felt since way back on May 15th, May 16th. It's been a long, long time, guys. 30% shot for storms for tomorrow. That's mainly south of Orlando. 40% chance on Friday. Mainly dry weekend coming our way, guys. And it looks like we're keeping things really nice into early next work week as well.
Jonathan, thank you. After the break, White Trooper Steve will soon be trading in Results One. A one-of-a-kind event coming to Central Florida this fall got the attention of a lot of people in our newsroom.
Including Trooper Steve. He made a big announcement about it from Results One earlier today.
This is Sandra from XL 106.7, Johnny's house. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for being on our show, too.
This is the coolest thing. I've known Sandra for quite some time. We've got to host events together. You do a lot of stuff in the community, but you're a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you. So are you.
You like to have a good time. You like to get out and about. So I thought, I need a partner in crime.
Yeah.
Here's the official announcement on News 6. Sandra and I are going to be partnering up for the very first Red Bull Tandem Bicycle Obstacle Course Challenge ever held here in the United States.
Yes. And it's right here in Altamont.
Altamont, excuse me, at Crane Roost Park. And it's hard to explain. It's you've seen the things jumping off of bridges and into the water. This is more of a competition.
I know.
On a bicycle, and we're tandem together.
And we're good with like competing, like obviously like with our job, like we gotta compete.
This is what we're getting ready to do.
I don't know.
Right there.
I don't know.
So what you're watching there, guys, are homemade tandem bicycle roller coasters made by competitors. We've already been accepted as competitors, and that's what we're going to be doing.
Looks like a lot of fun. What could go wrong?
A lot. I think a lot actually could go wrong, but hopefully we air it live on News 6. I look forward to seeing that. Still to come, the big investment coming to a key talent pipeline along the coast that officials hope will pay off in the long run. And later, a devastating crypto investment scam cost a local man nearly $2.5 million. How it all started with a friend request.
Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We are following several top stories right now. Prominent conservative activist and social media personality Charlie Kirk has died after being shot.
The news coming from President Trump. It happened while the 31-year-old was speaking to students from a tent at Utah Valley University. Video posted on social media shows Kirk speaking into a microphone when a single shot rang out. Authorities say one person taken into custody is not believed to be the shooting suspect.
Florida Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ingoglia is back in Central Florida after 16 Orange County employees, including the county attorney, received state subpoenas. The CFO says the attorney refused to distribute those subpoenas, so Ingoglia's office had to track down the others. Orange County says the county attorney told agents that he's not authorized to accept subpoenas and says he assisted agents in finding the employees. Flooding concerns are growing in Volusia County, so much so that leaders are now calling for action. Parts of orange neighborhoods Port Orange neighborhoods there are underwater from days of rain. Now, the Volusia County Council chairman is calling for a public meeting at the Port Orange Library to address flooding countywide. So far, no meeting date has been set. Some more breaking news at 5 now. This out of Colorado, where law enforcement there say 3 students have been shot at Evergreen High School in the Denver area. They say one of the injured is the shooting suspect. This is a live look at that scene right now. All 3 are at the hospital in critical condition. The moment we get an update on this story, we will bring it to you both here on air and at clickorlando.com.
Friday marks 2 weeks since the death of a toddler, and police still have not said who shot that little girl. Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero tells us about another tragic case he's covered that also remains unsolved.
On Poplar Lane, where on August 29th, police say a 2-year-old was killed and her grandparents injured, there's an addition to the memorial in front of the house. Blesson Leitner's name is now etched alongside candles and teddy bears. And knowing that another young life was lost in this same neighborhood, I thought who better to talk to than Patricia Hester. Patricia is the mother of Kobe. He was 16 when Melbourne police say he was shot on Cedar Drive, just a block away, Patricia. All this time later, it's been 2 years. Police still have not publicly identified a suspect in your son's case.
No, they have not. I don't feel like Melbourne police digs enough in these children cases. I mean, this child was only 2, I believe. Another innocent child, life is gone.
As Blesson's family now awaits answers, do you have any words of encouragement or perhaps resilience to share with them?
I do. I'm just hoping that whomever did it, someone will come forward with this family, because I can understand the pain that this family is going through. Only you know the feeling of how it feels to lose a child, and you live with it. But then you also can get through it too.
In 2023, police didn't do interviews about the shooting of Patricia's child, but in a press conference last week about Blesson, Commander Sean Eisen talked about how officers are affected emotionally by these cases too.
Our police officers, our investigators, their parents, they identify these situations with their own family.
If anyone has information about either investigation, we have the right number to reach police on clickorlando.com. In Melbourne, Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
SpaceX is hoping for cooperation from Mother Nature tonight. The company trying once again to launch an Indonesian telecommunications satellite from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The nearly 2-hour launch window opens at 8. The launch has already been pushed back twice because of rain. And we'd love to see your launch photos or videos. You can upload them to the Pin It page on clickorlando.com. While you're there, feel free to share weather, pet, or breaking news photos as well. Just take out your phone, scan that QR code on your screen, and you just might see your photo on TV. The aerospace industry continues to boom in Central Florida.
Boeing cut the ribbon on its new engineering center at Embry-Riddle's Research Park earlier today. Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada shows us what this means for the area.
You can call it a liftoff when it comes to Daytona Beach's economy. Boeing officially opening its doors to its brand new engineering center, and with it, hundreds of high-paying jobs.
At 65,000 square feet, the facility will house engineers working on Boeing's defense, space, and security programs. Boeing announced it will bring about 400 high-paying jobs to Daytona Beach and Volusia County. The project designed to help keep talented students in the area.
They're good, high-paying technical and engineering jobs. For us, it's a great opportunity to tap into a wealth of talent that exists here, certainly off the university, but really in Central Florida in general.
The new center adds to Embry-Riddle's Research Park, which has generated nearly 2,000 jobs.
Yeah, Embry-Riddle, if you're not from the university or around here, it's a pretty unique place. And as I mentioned earlier, we have, going on 9,000 students there. And I said pretty much every one of them has grown up wanting to be a part of what goes on in a place like Boeing, especially Boeing, the gold standard for for aerospace.
For Boeing, opening this engineering hub is just the beginning, with plans to grow operations and work side by side with university researchers and students.
Leaders called it a milestone for Volusia County and said it could mark the start of even more aerospace investment. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent reporting in Daytona Beach, Angie Casava, News 6.
Angie, thank you. Also today, leaders in Sanford cut the ribbon on the second phase of an affordable housing resource. The expansion to Sanford Courtyard doubles the development in size, adding 2 more 2-bed, 1-bath apartments to a neighborhood just east of downtown Sanford. Seminole County's Community Services Department contributed more than $1.5 million in federal funding toward the project, which was developed in partnership with Central Florida Home for Good. The nonprofit focuses on building affordable housing for local workers in need. Occupants for Phase 2 are expected to move in over the next few weeks, and there are still units available.
New details tonight about the deadly 2021 Surfside condo collapse. The National Institute of Standards and Technology released preliminary findings of their investigation this week. The report says the collapse likely started in the pool deck, not the tower itself. It follows an exhaustive study of the partial collapse of the 12-story Champlain Towers in Surfside in 2021. It killed 98 people. Investigators in the past said there had been a long-term degradation of the concrete support in the basement-level parking garage under the pool deck and cited water penetration and the corrosion of reinforced steel. Now, the lead investigator revealed problems in the pool deck and say there were visible indications of distress on the building weeks before that partial collapse.
The pool deck's slab column connections had critically low margins of safety. The bulk of the critically low margins of safety was caused by design understrength and misplaced slab reinforcement. Once failure initiated, the structure's low resistance to progressive collapse allowed the collapse of the pool deck to spread into and throughout the middle and east parts of the tower.
The latest findings come from the National Construction Safety Team of the National Institute of Standards and Technology. They're still investigating the incident. A former Brevard County School Board member is throwing her name into the ring for a seat on Capitol Hill. Jennifer Jenkins announced her candidacy for U.S. Senate next year. Jenkins, a Democrat, served one term on Brevard School Board, where she opposed book bans, supported mask mandates, and opposed expanding the school guardian program, arguing more law enforcement and security guards should be placed in schools. The seat she's running for is currently being held by Ashley Moody, who served as Florida's Attorney General before Governor DeSantis appointed her to the Senate to replace Marco Rubio, who President Trump named Secretary of State when he took office. Senator Moody's term ends next year.
Apple has rolled out a new line of products, including the iPhone Air, the thinnest iPhone ever made. CBS's Jolene Kent looks at the tech giant's effort to stay on top of innovation.
Apple is making moves.
At 5.6 millimeters, it's the thinnest iPhone we've ever made.
With the first ever iPhone Air starting at nearly $1,000. Alongside its new iPhone 17 and 17 Pros, starting at nearly $800 and $1,100 respectively. AirPods Pro 3 with live language translation.
Hello, welcome. Today, all the red carnations are 50% off.
But the reveal comes at a challenging time for consumers. According to Wallet Hub, nearly 9 in 10 Americans think iPhones are overpriced, and nearly 60% say inflation and tariffs will keep them from buying a new phone this year.
For the most part, Apple is still very much a premium brand when it comes to phones.
We spoke to tech expert Mark Spoonhour after Apple's unveiling on Tuesday.
The Apple ecosystem is really strong, and I think that some of that shine is starting to come off with the competition that we're seeing around AI.
Can you show me how to make a double?
First, press the filter size button on the left.
Maybe Apple's a little bit behind the competition, but they're known for doing that. They're usually late to market, and they try to be best. So we're going to have to see how that works out.
Jolene Kent, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, how often do you get friend requests on social media from people you do not know? In one man's case, clicking accept cost him millions of dollars. We'll show you how coming up. Jonathan.
We are pinpointing a few downpours, certainly nothing like last night. They're continuing to stream in off the Atlantic. We're going to pinpoint what that means for the rest of your evening and take a look at your weekend. I think you're going to like that. Coming up at about 5.
Take a break from those summer reruns. Try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Ginger and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight at 9. Go in depth as we track the tropics and answer weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour early. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus.
And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Well, tonight, a deep dive into a devastating crypto investment scam that cost a local man nearly $2.5 million.
News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden has the story of how a friend request on Facebook led to months of trust, pressure, and finally financial ruin.
I was enraged.
That was Richard Dunlap's reaction when he realized he had lost millions.
I probably went through all of the normal feelings as somebody feels when they've been ripped off, frankly.
Dunlap says it started with a friend request on Facebook from someone who seemed to share mutual connections. But they eventually took the conversation to WhatsApp, where they chatted for months and the crooks built a rapport.
After months, this person said, look, I invest and I do really well. You know, you might want to consider it.
They introduced Dunlap to the world of cryptocurrency and trading.
This one is showing the current price of Bitcoin.
They showed him the apps to download and coached him through his first trade.
My initial trades were yielding somewhere in the vicinity of 40%.
Okay.
And I said, that's not terrible.
Dunlap appeared to be making money, so he made a $3,800 withdrawal with no problem.
And I said, well, this must be real.
Dunlap invested more, lots more. From January to March alone, he deposited $1.2 million, including two $200,000 deposits in 2 days. He cleaned out his 401k and savings. In his apps, he appeared to be making money. $153,000 here, $143,000 there. His balance hitting more than $2.5 million. But he soon learned the profits were fake because the crooks controlled the app. When he tried to make a $395,000 withdrawal, he was shut out.
It wasn't until then that I fully realized what I had done to myself. Oh yeah, you lost all that money?
Dunlap is by no means alone. According to the FTC, last year Americans lost $5.7 billion to investment scams, and that's up $1 billion from the year before.
These guys are all just trying to get money from you somehow.
Brian Watson is a forensic financial analyst with the United States Secret Service Orlando Field Office.
I've seen people from all walks of life, that from the CEOs, CFOs of big corporations to lawyers to grandmothers, all falling for the same scam.
Watson says be suspicious of unsolicited investment advice and of promises of big returns. Also requirements to use a specific trading platform because scammers will use a platform that they can control. Dunlap is sharing his story hoping he can help others.
So that I can maybe prevent some of them from going through the same thing.
Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@WKMG.com. I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
Just awful.
I don't trust anybody on social media. Mom tries to message me. I'm like, you better call me. I'm not sure that's you. Jonathan Kegas, our meteorologist, joins us now. We have another fairly active day today, Jonathan.
Yeah, at least not as widespread as last night, and certainly the thunderstorm and the rainfall rates are nowhere near to what we had yesterday. We could shut off the rain, though. We do have the heaviest downpours right along I-4 now, closer to the attractions as we are watching. A couple of downpours hanging around Point Siena as well. More downpours moving through Scottsmore into Oak Hill, back to Titusville and Mims. You can track these downpours alongside me tonight by downloading that free News 6 weather app. You can get the latest forecast, and then you can pull up the radar in the palm of your hand and track those storms with us. That's 5 to 6 o'clock tonight. I think Future Radar has the right idea there, taking those downpours from northeast to southwest. Then watch the Space Coast. We'll likely try to bubble up a few more downpours, maybe a few road rumbles of thunder later in the evening. That's midnight tonight, and you see the heavier rain right there, at least in a very localized area along the Space Coast. So I'll be keeping my eye out for that. Tomorrow morning, Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos likely going to be tracking a few downpours trying to sneak on shore tomorrow. That's been the name of the game over the past couple of days with that breeze off of the Atlantic still, and we'll keep that around. I do think, though, rain chances way down in comparison where they've been. That's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's not a ton out there. I think there'll be a few scattered thunderstorms in the mix trying to bubble back up, but that's mainly going to be south and east of I-4. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Rain chances down to 30% tomorrow afternoon. We're at 88 in the Villages. Holopah, we're at 87. At the Cape, we're back to 86. DeLand, good evening. We are at 86 degrees tomorrow, and I think certainly a drier day. We are going to keep that unsettled stretch rolling through at least tomorrow, though. Again, the highest opportunity for rain should be way south of Orlando. For us in Osceola and Brevard County, that's going to be our best, relatively speaking, opportunity for those downpours. Then by the weekend, big change. Drier air going to pour back in, and by Sunday morning, some of us could wake up in the 60s for the first time in a very long time. It's all because of some drier air coming in, a cold front. Week 1, but it's the first one of the season, kind of pushing down all the brown on your screen, that drier air that will no doubt take rain chances for the most part away for the weekend. But nonetheless, it will bring in some drier air for everybody. Now, the best opportunity for rain this weekend will be along the coast. We're still going to have that front there with the breeze off of the Atlantic, keeping rain chances at 30%. Look at those words there, though. Becoming less humid. For the first time in months, I do think we are going to take some of the humidity out of the atmosphere, and it should be relatively comfortable. By the time we get into Saturday evening and into Sunday morning, we're still going to keep a stray coastal shower in the mix. On Sunday, rain chances at 20%. Today, September 10th, it's the peak of hurricane season. It is pretty quiet out there. Earlier today, though, the Hurricane Center did highlight another wave coming off Africa. A lot of time to watch. Remember, like the last film we talked about, don't get too crazy with those models that are out there, and then it went poof. Again, and nothing happened with that other one. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. Still some of those same ingredients that was a part of the last system demise are still out there, so it would have to overcome a lot in order to develop. Of course, I'm always watching it. We got you covered here at News 6. 30% shot for thunderstorms tomorrow. That's mainly south of Orlando. 40% chance on Friday. We're going to keep rain chances at 30% mainly to the coast on Saturday, 20% shot on Sunday. Look at the temperature on Sunday at the Orlando International Airport, 70 degrees. I think a lot of us could make a run for the upper 60s for the first time since May, guys.
It's a good-looking weekend, sir. Thank you. After the break, military experts say their jaws hit the floor when they saw what happened after launching a missile at a UFO. We're going to show you the moments it all went down. Three current and former members of the military say this video right here terrifies them because it shouldn't be possible.
So new video from a hearing about UFOs seems to show a U.S. military drone shooting a missile at an unidentified object. This happened off the coast of Yemen last year. But as CBS's Charlie D'Agata explains, what happened next is leaving everyone scratching their heads.
The newly released video captured by a U.S. Reaper drone shows a glowing orb off the coast of Yemen. Suddenly, on the left side of your screen, you see a Hellfire missile zip in, strike that unidentified object, then bounce right off it. When we slow the video down, you see the Hellfire missile continue to travel on its path, that trajectory becoming clearer from this zoomed-out angle. Not shown is a second Reaper drone that launched the missile. Congressman Eric Burleson shared the video at a House Oversight Committee on what the military calls unidentified aerial phenomena, better known as UFOs.
That's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
We've never seen a Hellfire missile hit a target and bounce off.
Lou Elizondo is a former senior intelligence officer with the Pentagon.
The Hellfire makes a hit a kinetic strike on something solid, there's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting. It's very, very destructive. What seems to happen is that the missile is either redirected, or in some case, perhaps glances off the object and continues on its way.
A recent government report revealed the government received more than 750 new UAP sightings in the 2024 fiscal year, leaving lawmakers digging into the mystery and national security concerns posed by these objects.
Does this video scare you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes.
Yes.
Me too. There's a lot of information that's not in that video, like what mission they were on, and as they said, what are we even looking at here? We do know that the U.S. military was conducting airstrikes against Houthi targets at the time. Pentagon officials tell CBS News, no comment. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, Washington.
Does it scare you?
Yes. Of course it does. What are we talking about here?
I don't know. Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we are working on for News 6 at 6.
It's a bad time not to have your tinfoil hat, guys. We are learning more information about the subpoenas in Orange County and what the courts are saying about open carry in the state. Plus, neighbors in Winter Park are already discussing Christmas, the controversy surrounding the city's suggestion to bring back holidays to its winter celebration.
A new decision from a judge says the current open carry ban on firearms is unconstitutional. What this could mean for gun owners moving forward. Plus,
I'm Catherine Silver in Seminole County, where they're rethinking transportation beyond the bus. We're talking to the real people who are ready to ride a new on-demand service as testing begins.
But from what I've seen, Orange County does waste a lot of resources and money as it is.
and Florida CFO fires back at Orange County officials about 2 weeks after multiple subpoenas were issued to workers. An update on the investigation. News 6 at 6 starts now. We begin tonight with a look outside. Here's the Port Cam, a cloudy and rainy day across much of Central Florida.
Boy, we've been singing this song all week. So many waterlogged areas getting hit with showers, and some areas getting several inches of rain this week. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is tracking how long this is going to stick around tonight. Jonathan.
Yeah, and I do have some improvements for you in the forecast as early as tomorrow and then really for the weekend. Here's what it looks like right now. Certainly nothing as widespread or not even close to being as heavy as what we saw. And you might be wondering what we're even talking about if you're watching in Marion County, even Flagler County tonight, and into Sumter, most of Lake, where we have not had much today of anything. And we've been watching everything kind of stream in off the Atlantic. We have some heavier downpours around Dr. Phillips, just south of Ocoee, just south of Winter Garden. Four Corners, good evening. Most of that is off to your east and continuing to slide from north to south. Kissimmee, we're in between both of those downpours. On the south side of Lake Toho, we have those downpours sliding south of St. Cloud, Point Siena, good evening. We have some of the storms, or at least downpours, no lightning associated with these tonight. Those are continuing to move away from us. Again, that's the one positive note with all of this. There's not a lot of lightning. And again, things aren't too terribly heavy out there. We'll take a look at the rest of your evening. And then when we transition out of this very unsettled stretch, guys, coming up at about 6:17.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. And a major decision today. A state appeals court has ruled Florida's ban on openly carrying guns is unconstitutional.
So this could change the landscape for gun owners in the state. News 6's Troy Campbell is in our newsroom. He's been following the latest developments on this. Troy?
Yep, a lot to catch up on. This is a copy of that 20-page decision. Now, in it, it says the state's open carry ban is incompatible with the nation's, quote, historical tradition of firearm regulation. Now, this decision was issued by a 3-judge panel. The case was in a challenge filed by a man convicted of openly carrying a gun back in July of 2022 in Pensacola. Of course, this comes after years of debate in the Florida legislature on whether to allow open carry in the state. Governor Ron DeSantis posted on X saying the decision aligns state policy with his long-held position. He said the court ruled the text of the Second Amendment to keep and bear arms says what it means and means what it says. The state CFO also reacted to the court's decision from the Lake Mary Fire Department during an event earlier.
I believe that there is a constitutional right to carry a firearm the way you want to carry a firearm. Now, just because, and I want to be clear here, just because there will be open carry by virtue of the court's decision does not mean that everyone is going to be open carrying everywhere that they go.
Yeah, so it's those next steps forward. We're speaking to a legal expert on how this decision will affect gun owners here in Florida. We'll bring you those insights starting tonight at 10 p.m. Ginger.
Troy, thank you. And as Troy just mentioned, he will have more on this later on tonight, and he'll have more on this, including staying up to date on what the law actually says and reactions from lawmakers. Head on over to clickorlando.com or download the free WKMG News app.
I'm Laverne McGee, your community correspondent in Southwest Orlando. This may look like a single-family home behind me, but it's actually been turned into a place of worship, and they want to expand and make it 3 stories. But the county has denied it. The neighbors here say it doesn't belong. This is residential. Now there's a lawsuit being filed and even investigation.
Let's say I'm concerned because it has been told to them that it's not discrimination. It is, in fact, this is a residential area. And that is not approved for this area.
This is one of the residents that I spoke with who does not want the Orlando Tourist Center to expand. She did not want her face on camera, like some of her other neighbors who told me they fear being labeled as anti-Semitic. They say they simply want this to remain a residential neighborhood. The Orlando Tourist Center is currently in a single-story house that, according to the county website, has had code violations in the past. But this letter from the Civil Rights Division of the United States Attorney's Office says, in part, our investigation will focus on Orange County zoning laws and practices regarding religious land uses, including its denial of the Orlando Tourist Center's application for a special permit and whether that denial has discriminated on the basis of religion. This comes after the Orlando Tourist Center filed a federal lawsuit against the Orange County Board of Commissioners on July 31st. The house they use as a synagogue is located in the Sandhills neighborhood on Apopka Vineland Road in the Dr. Phillips area. It's a 1,600 square foot building that they want turned into a 3-story worship and programming space. But Orange County denied the request following some neighbor opposition that was voiced at an Orange County Commission meeting and checking into zoning laws for this neighborhood. But Attorney General James Uthmeyer also had sent a letter on August 8th expressing concerns. Orange County's attorney replied to him on August 15th, saying in part, the July 1st, 2025 decision was based on fair and neutral criteria. It was no way based on anti-Semitism. Supporters of the center say a lot of the congregation members walked to the center, making it a necessity for the Orthodox Jewish community. Many cannot drive on the Sabbath.
Well, they're already worshiping. They wanted to build a very large complex there. And the general people within the HOA that's right here for their Section 1 did not feel that that was appropriate. And they voted that way.
I spoke with the center's attorney, who pointed out that Southwest Middle School is at the end of the street. The county sent us a copy of their response and says they can't comment much because of pending litigation, but they deny any religious discrimination. In Southwest Orlando, your community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Tonight, we're learning more about the state's DOJ investigation into Orange County. According to the copy of the subpoena we received, which was sent to the Orange County attorney, the state needed a response by 9 o'clock Monday morning. But earlier this afternoon, Chief Financial Officer Blaise Ingoglia said they just finished delivering those subpoenas today. 16 county employees, including the county attorney, were subpoenaed 2 weeks ago. Florida DOJ says this is part of an investigation connected to audits back in August. The CFO claims the state handed those 16 subpoenas to the county attorney to hand out to everybody else. But he says the county attorney refused. The CFO then said it became his office's responsibility to track down everyone they were trying to subpoena.
I think we just now were able to finish the delivering of those subpoenas. So we are going to have the conversations with them, and we're going to have some frank conversations and ask them, did they do what we think could possibly have been done? We're telling them, don't hide anything. Don't lie to investigators just to hide the actions of a superior. Just be honest with us. We just want to know what is being spent, how much is being spent on certain projects, so then we can go and communicate that to the residents.
The CFO says he wants to now change the law to force government employees to accept subpoenas on behalf of other government employees. The county also responding today. A statement from Orange County says in part, the county attorney informed the agents of the state that he is not authorized to accept subpoenas on behalf of county employees or any of the other individuals who were listed.
Right now, Seminole County leaders are currently meeting in the county chamber. A big topic on the agenda involves you possibly paying more in taxes. First, leaders approved a higher gas tax, and now they're looking at a property tax increase. The county will discuss how it will spend that revenue. This is the first of 2 public hearings to discuss the budget. The rate will not be set until the county finalizes the budget. Well, this week, you may spot something different on the road in Seminole County. We've been telling you all about the new on-demand transportation service, Scout, that's starting up in the fall. As the county starts to test it out this month, they're getting your questions answered. Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver met with one News 6 viewer who reached out ahead of the official October launch.
It's a Wednesday afternoon. Sheila Rashi is at home in Altamont Springs, close to a hospital, close to a mall, close to the grocery store.
5 to 10 minutes from everything. It's wonderful.
There's just one problem.
How do you get there? You have to walk there, and to walk a mile or 2 miles for a senior citizen or even anybody who can't take the heat, it's just not feasible.
With Seminole County's new on-demand transportation service, Scout can come directly to Rasche's door.
You reached out to me because you said, as soon as I can use this service, I want to.
Absolutely, as of yesterday. That's how soon I would like.
She didn't just see our new 6 story. She saw how it could fit into her life.
I need it desperately because I was fortunate enough to get vertigo. I can't drive because it's too dangerous. And we're only a 1-car family now because since my husband can't drive anymore.
A Scout ride could take her to Westmont Park, where she and her husband do water aerobics with a $4 fare. If she wants to go further, it could cost up to $14, depending on how many zones she crosses.
As we have our riders that are going to be doing the practice runs, it's going to tell us a lot.
We spoke with Chairman Jay Zembauer about how Seminole County is rethinking transportation, throwing out most traditional bus routes and betting on vehicles who can get to commuters where and when they're needed most.
Our goal is, after we kick it off, is to continue to improve it. Maybe add some more vehicles, add some distances to it. So be patient and we'll get there.
We helped Rasche download the Freebie app.
You'll be ready to go October 15th.
Where she'll request a ride. By the end of this year, it's how the county expects most people who take the bus now to get around too.
You think this is really going to make a difference in your life?
Oh, absolutely.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Much more coming up on News 6 at 6.
Including the fight for Christmas in Winter Park, why some people are upset over the city's decision to make changes to its holiday celebrations. What everybody is saying. Coming up.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
We have a warning tonight about the dangers a growing sport is having on the environment. The Raptor Center of Tampa Bay is reminding people to pick up anything plastic after they are playing with it outdoors. Rescuers had to help a great blue heron that got its beak stuck in one of the holes of a pickleball. The bird became thin because it just couldn't eat, which rescuers say could have been prevented. The bird is now recovering at the rehabilitation center, so just be careful out there. Well, it might be only September, but Christmas is already getting attention in Winter Park months before the holiday season begins.
A petition called Save Christmas is raising concerns that the city is removing Christmas from its traditions. News 6's Jana Manohalal spoke with city leaders who say that is just not the case.
The petition titled Save Christmas in Winter Park, written by a Winter Park resident, suggests that the city is trying to phase out Christmas, but officials say that this is a different reality.
So, to be very clear to start, Winter Park is not taking Christmas out of the holidays. In fact, what Winter Park is doing is adding to Christmas other holidays during the season, such as Hanukkah and Kwanzaa.
Howard says the city's only request was directed at the Park Avenue District, the merchant group that took over the lead in decorating downtown last year. But when the group rebranded the season as Christmas on Park, some residents raised concerns.
This year, when the city issued a release about the holiday season starting, then we did receive concerns from residents saying, wait a second, I think there's a little bit more than Christmas on Park.
Before Park Avenue District took over the rebranding of the decor, had your residents ever complained about anything like this?
No. I mean, we've, like I said, I've been here for 20 plus years. This is the first time that there's been some controversy about this. And I think it really is misunderstood and misguided because it is not Winter Park taking Christmas out of the holidays.
Howard says that all long-standing traditions will continue and the city will work to make sure all residents feel included.
I did reach out to the Park Avenue District to see if they had any comment on this, but we have not heard back. In Winter Park, Jana Manohalal, News 6.
All right, time now for a look at our forecast. I know, Jonathan, you said it's going to be a little bit cooler this weekend, not Christmas-like.
Right.
But,
yeah,
but nice.
Not there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe not crisp either, but it's going to feel much, much better. We are going to get some drier air in here. I think you'll notice it if you're out maybe walking Saturday evening, waking up Sunday morning. That's when I think you'll notice a little change.
Okay.
It's just subtle. It's nothing too crazy, but we're going to have the opportunity to wake up in the upper 60s for the first time since May. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that dry air comes far enough south into most of central Florida. Now, right now, we're still under the influence of a front that is stalled out. By and large, all of the scattered downpour activity has been along and southeast of I-4. We're on the drier side through the I-75 corridor tonight. You can track the downpours that are out there with the free News 6 weather app. If we're heading out to dinner tonight, that motion off of the Atlantic out of the northeast to southwest going to continue as well. And for the next couple of hours, we're just doing a little dodging out there, especially again southeast of I-4 and closer to the Space Coast, Orlando area, and then back closer to Kissimmee. So here's 6, 7 o'clock tonight. I think Future Radar doing a nice job pinpointing those downpours. And again, I think we're going to be watching the Space Coast late this evening to the early morning of tomorrow. Note the stray downpours that are right along the Space Coast again tomorrow morning, so don't be caught off guard. Again, maybe right around I-95, A1A through the Space Coast up the Volusia Coast and into Flagler County for some of those downpours pushing back on shore. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's not a ton going on tomorrow. I think a lot of us are going to be on the drier side, still keeping some clouds around, but you see where most of the action is, really in between Yeehaw Junction and Lake Okeechobee. Again, between Kissimmee, Rockledge, and Melbourne, I think we're going to see the opportunity for those scattered thunderstorms. That's our, relatively speaking, highest chance, and I have you guys at a 30% shot for those storms tomorrow. They're 7 to 8 o'clock through the evening, and most of us, again, are on the drier side. So the change of pace is coming behind this really several-day stretch of unsettled weather. There's a live look, Port Canaveral, Brevard County. We certainly still have the gray clouds and the breeze out there with our launch Credit Union camera this evening. Temperatures back in the lower 80s. Again, still some of that drizzle out there, the light showers hanging around, the breeze at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. We're at 82 in Orlando, 86 in Titusville. Good evening in DeLand. We are back to the upper 70s. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
So rain chances down to 30%. We're back to the upper 80s tomorrow. Oviedo, we're at 87. Leesburg, we are also at 87 degrees tomorrow. Further west into the Villages and Wildwood, I think it's a very nice day. Getting hitting the greens tomorrow morning. I think we're good. 71 by 7 o'clock. Back to the lower 80s by 11. And I think we're mainly dry all day tomorrow. Just a slight chance for a shower late into the afternoon. But as I showed you before, southeast, along and southeast of I-4 is going to be our best shot. There's 6 o'clock on Thursday. Our front pushes further to the south. We're focused on that big word that says dry here and the blue arrows out of the north. Again, that drier air starts to come in as we move into Friday. And then certainly as we get into Saturday, that's 3 o'clock. Now, with this area of low pressure still tied to this front, we are going to keep the breeze off the Atlantic a little bit. So I am still watching for the chance for some scattered downpours, maybe a row rumble of thunder closer to the coast on Saturday. The same will be true again as we get into Sunday. But it's really, look at that. You see the blue arrows getting down further south of Lake Okeechobee. That's some of the drier air that's going to try to settle in. Short-lived. This is not the big season-changing front that we would typically see in the middle of October. But nonetheless, we'll take what we can get. 30% shot for storms tomorrow. That's mainly south of Orlando. That'll go up a smidge on Friday, then back down for the weekend. I think it's looking pretty good, guys, through the early stages of next work week as well.
All right, Jonathan, thank you.
Sports director Jamie Say is here. Jamie, the dream of big league baseball in Central Florida is still alive.
Yeah, I mean, the Orlando Dreamers are not giving up on their goal. What they're saying as two major investors pull out of the group. Meanwhile, this Central Florida athlete is chasing her dreams on a diamond. You'll meet the Bella of the ball, as in softball, next.
And try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Matt and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9 o'clock. After that, go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas at 9:30. Then watch the late news at 10. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus.
Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your app store. It's also on Roku, Apple, and Fire.
The group that dreams of bringing a Major League Baseball team to Central Florida is not done trying. The Orlando Dreamers released a statement today confirming that 2 major investors have pulled out of the group, attorney John Morgan and also this man, the Dreamers' former anchor investor, Rick Workman. He's joined another group that's negotiating to buy the Tampa Bay Rays right now. Dreamers say Workman's decision to leave came this week. It was a surprise, but they're moving ahead in their push to bring a big league club to Orlando. That includes finding a new anchor investor. The Dreamers say they have more than $1 billion in commitment still for a team and another $1 billion for a stadium from other investors. Well, this young athlete is living her dreams on the softball diamond. Her sport, her talent sent her to Europe this summer. News 6's Nathaniel Rivas introduces us to a Seminole County rising star.
For Bella Ortiz, softball is life, and she loves the competition.
No matter what game you're playing, what position, who you are as a player, it's always going to be competitive no matter what. I throw a curveball, and most of my pitches...
The 14-year-old freshman at Hagerty is already turning heads. She's a pitcher throwing heat, as fast as 67 miles per hour.
It's exciting. The nerves do get to me sometimes, but I think that happens with everyone. I guess also knowing that my team has my back through every step of the way helps a lot.
Bella stayed red hot over the summer. She's coming off winning the silver medal with Team Puerto Rico in the Women's Under-15 Softball World Cup in Italy.
Incredible. I mean, I can't believe that I went to Italy, that I traveled across the country to play this game that I love.
Bella and her team beat Team USA for the first time ever, but she was focused on something bigger.
We recently had a coach who passed away from cancer, and when we went to Italy, that's who we played for. It was very emotional from the beginning to end. We all felt the emotions through every win.
Bella has high goals for herself in softball, but she wants to have an impact off the mound.
I want to play at the highest level, play in the Olympics, but probably my biggest dream is just to inspire those around me.
In Oviedo, Nathaniel Rivas, News 6.
So consider us inspired by Bella, right? She's a candidate for a national award. It's called the Colossal Youth Athlete of the Year. You can vote for her at athleteoftheyear.org/2025/Isabella-C1 T1, but she's 14. She's at Hagerty. She's traveled the world playing softball. She seems like someone, when she sets her mind to something, it's going to happen. So we're going to speak the Olympics into existence.
67 seems really fast for a 14-year-old.
That's crazy.
For people who are older than 14, too. But she's outstanding and such a mature young lady. So we wish Bella a ton of luck.
For sure. Yeah, she's got the talent. She doesn't need the luck.
Yeah,
that's right. You're right.
All right, Jonathan, how are we looking going into the night?
Decently okay, if that makes sense. Along and southeast of I-4. Better than last night, let me put it that
Oh,
way.
good.
Downpours along and southeast of I-4 tonight, and that's what we're watching for.
All right, sounds good. More news coming up tonight at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com.
Bye.